Hi, it's good to have you back for this short presentation where we continue to look at the Banners Broker business opportunity and what it really comprises in practice, as seen by someone who's very successfully growing his business within the company. If you haven't seen the 3 short lead-in videos which provide the background to this interview, then have a look at them by clicking on the links in the description below this video. The first of these videos discusses the pension crisis that so many people over 50 are now so concerned about, and what this means in practical terms. Then the second video introduces an idea regarding what you can do to significantly improve your financial prospects by setting up your own small business with Banners Broker. Then the third is Banners Broker's own video introducing the company and the business opportunity. In this short presentation, I'm going to be interviewing the gentleman who introduced me to Banners Broker. He's someone I hold in high regard for his integrity, his insights. His name's Richard Avon. Richard is now well into his retirement and tells me that he's been able to do so much more than he would ever have been able to do so singularly because of, his involvement as an affiliate with Banners Broker. But don't let me spoil his thunder. Let's go to the interview, which I recorded using Skype. So apologies if the picture quality is not of the highest order, as at the moment I'm living in France and he lives near Bristol in the UK, so we've had to do it by phone. Hello Richard, thanks ever so for agreeing to do this interview. I know that you've much to share that will be of interest and of value to people watching. Okay, let's dive straight in, should we?
Okay.
How did you come to be involved in Banners Broker?
Well, Stephen, you and I were involved in something quite a few years ago with another lady called Hazel Spider, which worked very well for us for a time, and then the management got it all wrong and it all collapsed. And for over 12 years, I've been looking at ways of making money online. I've been on all the courses, I've done all the advertising, I've done this, that and the other, without any real success since that time. But I've always been looking at making money to the extent that my wife says, not another one. And I've lost a fair bit of money here and there. And then in January last year, Hazel, which you remember from our other business, phoned me up and said, Richard, you really want to look at this Banners Broker thing? And I said, Hazel, I'm busy with something else. I'm only working on one thing at a time. And she said, well, I'll send you the link and you can sign up for a free account. So because I knew she'd keep pestering me, I signed up for a free account. And I didn't understand it at all. I looked at it and I thought, what is this all about? I can't see how this can be of any help to me whatsoever. And I just said, I'm just not interested. Until in May, she came on to me again and said, Richard, have you any idea how much money I'm making with this? And I said, oh, well, all right, then I'll come in at the lowest possible, at $55, whatever it was. And she said, Richard, I'd like you to talk to David Tree. Here's somebody who helped me enormously. So that evening, David Tree phoned me up. And I said, oh, hello, yes, I've heard about this. Yes, I'm going to come in at $55. He said, no, you don't want to do that. You want to come in much higher. I started off with a couple of thousands. I said, David, don't give me the big numbers. I've had that up to here with everybody trying to sell me stuff. Okay, I am willing to risk $55. He said, no, you mustn't. And I put the phone down on him. Now, I phoned him up and apologised sometime later when I knew that he was right. And he said, you're the only person that's ever put the phone down on me. But anyway, I decided not to come in at $55. I decided to come in at $145. And then I saw it was working in a few days. And I upgraded to the next level. That's how I came into Banners Broker.
Well, that's interesting. Tell me though, are there any guarantees with the business? What are you actually risking if you could become involved?
Well, I think in this day and age, you cannot find any business anywhere where there's an ironclad guarantee.
Absolutely.
We see all sorts of business going. My big passion in life, photography, Jessop's, my local big chain of photo shops, collapsed. I just couldn't believe it. We see this happening all around us, and businesses come and go. Banners Broker themselves won't offer you any guarantee, but what I do know is that if you came in and did nothing, providing Banners Broker didn't collapse overnight, which is highly, highly unlikely, then you would at least get your money back at the end of a certain period, which we'll talk about later, plus the profit.
Right, right. Does the business involve you in doing very much?
I think when you first come in, there's a steep learning curve. I would guarantee that nobody joins Banner's Broker understanding it on day one. On the person who brought them in to educate them as to what they've got to do.
But that said, do you actually have to know anything or have any special skills?
Well, I would say you need to know how to upload a photograph of your passport and utility bill to confirm your ID. They are very insistent on that for legal reasons.
That's pretty basic.
That's basic. You have to know how to click a thing, and I say this tongue-in-cheek, but you have to know how to read. Because every question you have is answered on the site, and yet on the various forums people keep asking the same questions over and over and over again, which if they took the trouble to read, they would find those answers on the site anyway.
But is it difficult, Richard?
No, not at all. Not at all. It becomes quite mechanical once you understand how it works. A few clicks every day, here and there if necessary, and you're making money.
Okay, well it sounds pretty good. But if folk are thinking about Banner's Broker, what are the sorts of things they should be thinking about, that they should be taking into account?
First of all, if somebody's thinking about becoming an affiliate with Banner's Broker, I think they need to ask themselves this question. Am I prepared to knuckle down and take advice from the person who brought me into this, put in a bit of time and effort to understand how it really works? Because on day one I won't know. If I think that I can just buy into this and sit back and do nothing, then it's not for you.
Right.
It is something that will require your active participation.
But how much time do you spend on running your Banner's Broker business each week now? What's it going to involve us in?
Right. Now, because I'm coming up to my first anniversary in the middle of May, the very first thing I do every morning is to boot up my computer and look at my Banner's Broker account, and I do what is necessary to activate the things that need activating that day and see how much money I've made overnight, and that takes me probably at the most half an hour a day. Then I've finished my work for the day, except when any of the people that I brought in phone me up and ask me questions, and I'm always there ready to help and support them, but at my convenience. But my day's work of earning from my business is done in half an hour every morning.
So how long did it take you to get up to speed such that you really understood what you were doing?
Well, I would think probably I had a pretty good idea after a couple of weeks.
Right, right. And how much help did the person who introduced you into the business, Hazel, how much help did she give you when you got involved?
That is absolutely vital. She was on the phone, available to me every day with all the questions that I had. She knew the answers. And may I say that if you decide to come into this, the most important thing is that your inviter will have those answers and will be there to support you. Because Hazel joined in September of the year before last, but she got no help from her inviter at all until she met with David Tree, who's the gentleman who incidentally is now a dollar millionaire.
Oh, gracious.
Broker, and he gave her enormous help starting in January last year. Until she had that help, she didn't really do anything with it. And I can tell you, if you come into this, you will get all the help and support you need from Stephen.
Right.
And if there are any questions which he doesn't know yet, I do know the answers, and together between us, we'll make sure that you make the most of this opportunity.
Well, that's great. Now, a question I know lots of people are concerned about. Do folk have to enrol people in the business to make serious money?
Banner's brokers say that of the 400,000, I think, at the last people, affiliates worldwide in something like 150 countries who are making money with this. And they will say that there are thousands of them making money without telling anybody else about it. And that is possible, providing you learn how to do it and don't go rushing in and doing all the wrong things which will maybe upset your account.
Right.
But to make serious money, yes, you do need to invite some friends, contacts that you know, once you've started to see how it's working for yourself.
As I'm doing.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, well, we don't want this to be too long. What would your advice be to anyone who's concerned about their pension, maybe, and what Banners Broker would allow them to do in retirement? Because I know there are a lot of older people looking for new ways in which they can use their time in effective ways to overcome the shortcomings of their pension.
I would say do it. I can speak from experience of 12 years trying hundreds of different things over those 12 years. Banners Broker is the very best opportunity I've ever come across. It gives me everything I want to secure our future. I'm not allowed to tell you how much money I'm making, that's completely against the rules, but I will tell you that in a year, just less than a year, I've now created an income from my site alone which will give us an income of approximately 3 times our total pensions. Now,
that's incredible.
A pretty big thing to say about pensions. My wife, who has always been extremely sceptical, she has her own business, which I help her with, nothing to do with being online. After I'd been in it about 3 months, she said, I like this, I want to come into it as well. And she has her own account. Now that says something, because you couldn't get anybody more sceptical than my wife. The number of things I've tried to get involved with over the years. One thing you will find, if you want to invite anybody else, the first thing they will do is to do their due diligence by going on Google or somewhere like that, where they will find Banners Broker's a scam, Banners Broker's a Ponzi, Banners Broker's so on. Well, if you look at it carefully, you'll find that there are 63 pages of Google. And the majority of people on those 63 pages are singing Banners Broker's praise. But people who like to condemn another opportunity are doing so because they have an ulterior motive, and they know that if they call it a scam, it will get on the front page, and they'll get read, and they'll make money somehow. So they're a pain in the proverbial, but we ignore them.
That's a great shame, Richard, but there we go. It sounds an absolutely superb opportunity.
Yeah.
Thanks ever so for your time. I know you've agreed to help us with some more questions, so until the next question and answer session, thanks very much and ta-ra.
My pleasure.
Okay, that's it, folk. In the next video, which you can watch by clicking on the link on the screen now, or by clicking on the link in the description below, I talk again to Richard, this time about some of the practical realities of running the business and what is involved in getting started. I know many are concerned about starting new things and what it's going to involve. This is what we want to cover in this second interview. But let me say this. For my part, I have found the Banners Broker business opportunity to be very straightforward. Once I'd got my head around what it's all about, which did take a couple of weeks or so. So if you're finding some of the presentations, particularly on the Banners Broker website, perhaps a little confusing, don't worry, it soon will become clear. It's like driving a car for the first time. There's quite a bit to learn, but with a little practice, it soon becomes fairly straightforward. But you do have to spend time at the outset understanding the terminology and appreciating how things actually work in practice, which is in large part my responsibility, that is, if you choose to get involved in the business as part of my group. And finally, a reminder, if you haven't been to the Banners Broker website to have a look around, do go there as soon as possible using the link on the screen now, bannersbroker.com/skember, or click on the link in the video description below. Use the Banners Broker site and the link I've given you to sign up for a free account, then have a proper look at things. Having done this, by far the best thing to do then would be to contact me by email at stephenkember@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you and we can talk on a completely non-committal basis. I really do look forward to chatting to you about this opportunity. Oh, and to avoid me deleting emails from interested parties, can you put Banners Broker in the subject line of the email so I know that it's not spam? And should anyone use the address for anything that is spam, anything at all that is not following up on this video, it will be binned and it will be reported as spam. Okay, bye for now. See you in the next video where we talk to Richard once again, this time in more detail about this marvellous opportunity. I'll see you there.